I first want to talk about Dr. Jerome Reed, mainly because he has been the biggest influence over my life, both academically, musically, but also emotionally, and just who I think I've become over the past 4 years. He has been influential in shaping me as a musician and as a person, and just has never stopped shaping me, and I think that's been the coolest thing about it. Even as of this week, I can, he'll critique me, he'll push me to be a better person, a better Christian, and a better academic. And so I think even though I'm moving far away for graduate school, I don't think that my relationship, both as a professor but also as a friend, will ever stop. I think that that's going to always be there, and he's going to continue shaping me and inspiring me and driving me for the rest of my life.
I think my favorite professor is Dr. Matt Hearn in the English department. He's the chair. And I think it's because when I came to Lipscomb, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. And he was actually my seminar teacher. And he was the first professor that made me believe that I could literally do anything that I wanted to do. And he somehow convinced me to be an English major, and I've loved it. And he has probably been my biggest cheerleader throughout this entire college process. And I think I'm in his office at least once a day, and he is telling me to do this and encouraging me to do things. And I think that I don't know that I would have stayed at Lipscomb or been as successful if he hadn't been one of my professors.
My favorite teacher is Dr. Bradshaw. I met him my sophomore year when I took him for Intro to Physics, which I knew nothing about. So I started going to his office about 3 times a week to just get help. And one night I had stayed so late that his Bible study group came in, and he asked me to join. And so I did, and I never stopped going. And so that kind of, that started developing a relationship with Dr. Bradshaw and I. And then my junior year, I didn't really spend as much time there in his office. I wasn't in physics anymore. But fast forward until about 2 or 3 months ago in February, I randomly went into his office one day, and we just started talking, and I had never intended on sharing my struggles with him, but that just kind of came out. And he said one thing to me that really changed the course of my whole struggle. Because I had been struggling with something since October, and he looked at me and he said, "Kayla, I know that you are closer to the Lord now than you were in October, and that you love Him a lot more now than you did then. And if that was the whole reason for your struggle, is that enough? Is Jesus enough for you?" And when I was able to answer that question, yes, it changed everything, and it changed the course of that struggle and the rest of my semester. That's why he's my favorite teacher.
My favorite professors in the education department are Dr. Betts and Dr. Stewart. Dr. Betts is leaving us this year, and we're sad to see you go, Dr. Betts, but I've really enjoyed having him as a professor because he's the kind of person that really wants to talk to you about your life and have a personal relationship with you, and I've just really enjoyed getting to know him. And Dr. Stewart is also one of my favorites because she's a very encouraging teacher, and she is another person that really she tries to get to know her students on a personal level. And I had her as my advisor also, so it was great to get to know her that way. And she's just a person that's truly living for God with her life, and it's great to see that. So.
In the 1960s, I first went to class, and as a junior here at Lipscomb, and I was in a class with one of our teachers who's retiring this year. At that time, his name was David Howard, and he soon became for us Herr Howard, as I had him for 3/4 of German. I remember having a lot of good fun in that class. We had good friends in there, and of course, when we're trying to speak a foreign language, it's really hilarious. What I remember most from one of the quarters was that in the spring, we were asked to come to his office and sing to him in German. I'm sure that was a wonderful experience to have 30 guys come and sing in German to you in your office. I can appreciate the kind of thing that you went through there, and I appreciate that. And there's one old timer around here to another old timer I want to thank you for all of those years.
My favorite professor is Dr. Bradshaw, and I had him freshman year and then not ever again, but I loved his class. I took him for physics, and I loved how he got to know everyone in the class and learned everyone's names, and he knew that by like maybe the third or fourth class, which was great. And me and my other friend Megan, we like took the time to go into his office and learn more about him since he did about us, and he kind of was like a Christian mentor for us throughout our freshman year, which I think everyone needs. And so those are just a few reasons I love Dr. Bradshaw.
I'd like to also talk about Dr. Gary Wilson. He's been huge in influencing me and helping me find what I've wanted to do with the rest of my life. I wasn't sure when I came in if what I was going to do with my music degree, and Dr. Wilson has just shown me how awesome it is to be able to be a choral conductor, and because of that, he's inspired me to continue doing that at the graduate level, and I know for a fact I would not have gotten in or gotten my assistantship and into the program I did get into without his help, because week after week I would just receive so much attention from him. And it's been nice because he also has been able to shape me as a person, as a Christian. He's just really been able to help me out through whatever I'm going through, and I'll always be appreciative for that.
Outside of the English department, my favorite professor is Laura Lake Smith, who is chair of the art history department, or the art department in general. And when I returned from Vienna, she was one of the professors that really took some time to get to know me and my interests, which turned out to be art history, which is my minor. And she has truly been an inspiration as far as a professional woman and what that means and how to accomplish what you want within the field of art. She's really kind of just taken me under her wing and let me see this beautiful field of art and what that means. She is so strong and so professional and so intelligent, and it's something that I aspire to be as I continue on. She's one of those people that when she speaks, you're captivated by what she says, and she knows so much, and she's so willing to share, and she's such a good, strong Christian role model in the field and for girls like me at college. And I hope that my relationship with her continues on, and I would love to be able to consider her a colleague one day. That would be an honor.
I guess I've had so many good professors here at Lipscomb. For my very first class here, I had Jeff Mencken and Jeff Jewell for Lipscomb Seminar, and we talked about sports and played fantasy football as an assignment. And I thought, if this is college, that is awesome. And then from there, I've moved on to Jerry Stubblefield has been one of my favorites. Dr. Jerry Gaw has been awesome. The way he blends humor seamlessly into his lectures is unbelievable. And in the Bible department, there's just a treasure trove of good professors. I have George Goldman right now, and I love that class. John Mark Hicks is another one of my favorites. Just brilliant, brilliant people all around in all of my experiences here.